Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Kuatsi haupa, kaitawa tiash, shilametsai timaitata aese, ushachanoshita. Good morning, and thank you for joining us for the American Indian Alaska Native Tourism Association's webinar series. Today's educational webinar is on expanding global awareness of Native tourism with EXIM Bank. My name is Maureen Chavez, and I am the Visitor Outreach Manager for AIANTA. At this time, I would like to introduce you to Chris Van Ness. From the White House and the U.S. Treasury Department to the private sector, Chris Van Ness has focused his career on leveraging teams, networks, and sound strategies to solve public affairs challenges across international and domestic economic and finance policy. Chris is currently Senior Vice President for Communications and External Engagement at the Export-Import Bank of the United States, where he oversees the agency's relationships with its external stakeholders and advises EXIM's Board of Directors on its public affairs as part of the Biden-Harris administration. Chris, I'm happy to introduce you and hand it over to you.
Thank you, Maureen, and good morning, everybody. Good afternoon for those of you who are on the East Coast like me, and for folks who are further west, good morning. It's great to be with you today. I am excited to be joining you. I know there are several good speakers that are coming after me, including one of my colleagues from EXIM, Latonya Darden. I will keep my comments relatively brief so you can get to the meat of the program. But a few comments at the top, just to talk a little bit about EXIMs priorities and the priorities of the Biden-Harris administration. For those of you who may not be familiar with the Export-Import Bank, we provide a variety of financing solutions for small businesses, medium-sized businesses, large businesses, businesses of all size, to help fill gaps in private sector financing and ultimately open markets and facilitate competitiveness for American companies. We across the administration are deeply committed to both fostering economic opportunity, economic development, as well as equity. I joined the Biden-Harris administration in March, and since that time, a few significant things have happened that I think relate to our program today. Number one, the American Rescue Plan that was passed last spring provides the single largest direct investment for Native communities, with $20 billion being part of that package. In addition to that, the administration, the president has signed several executive orders related to equity. For us at EXIM, I think we're taking these very, very seriously, and I think we're trying to structure our work in equity in a few different pillars. I think number one is related to our programs. I think we're trying to figure out better ways to ensure that our programs have net positive outcomes on the communities and the customers that use our programs. I think in terms of our operations, we're trying to think about our culture, our people, and ensuring that we have equity and transparency in all we do within the bank. And third is in terms of outreach. And I think that's partly why we are here today. Last April, we were very pleased to host, I believe it was the first of the administration, a tribal consultation with several of our fellow agency partners, federal agency partners. And from that, I think we have tried to take several steps to work closely with groups like AIANTA, NCAI, several others. And so I think as we look here today, look forward, I think we are hoping to ensure that all of you here on the call today have a familiarity with EXIM's programs, the opportunities that exist for your businesses as you look to grow. And then more broadly, I think we're hoping to look for new opportunities to reach different communities, different businesses, and again, I think ensure that we are fulfilling our fundamental agency mission, which is to facilitate jobs through exports. So with that, I will stop, and Maureen, I'll turn it back to you. But it's great to be with you. I hope that this is a fruitful, productive conversation and that ultimately all of the federal agencies that are represented here today can help you grow your business and find new markets and new customers. So Maureen, back to you.
Thank you, Chris, for that wonderful introduction to EXIM. We would like to wish everyone a wonderful Native American Heritage Month. Again, my name is Maureen Chavez, and I am the Visitor Outreach Manager for AIANTA. AIANTA provides technical assistance and training to tribal nations and Native-owned enterprises engaged in tourism, hospitality, and recreation. AIANTA's mission is to define, introduce, grow, and sustain American Indian, Alaska Native, and Native Hawaiian tourism that honors traditions and values. As the Visitor Outreach Manager, here is some information about my program. Since 2007, AIANTA has been showcasing Indian country tourism on a global stage by establishing a presence at the world's leading travel trade shows, including Showcase USA, Italy, ITB in Germany, IPW, Brand USA Travel Week, NTA Travel Exchange, and World Travel Market in London. The Native American, Alaska Native, and Native Hawaiian tourism enterprises looking to attract more visitors to their destinations have the opportunity to join AIANTA in building a presence in some of the most important tourism markets around the world, like Go West Summit, IPW, and Showcase USA Italy. To learn more about global marketing, including targeting our tour operators and the travel trade, join us for Go International, a 2-day virtual training designed to guide tribal enterprises and businesses in conceptualizing and developing the tourism product. Visit our website at aianta.org to learn more about our education program offerings. Please put your questions in the Q&A or the chat, and we will answer them at the end of the presentation. Again, thank you for joining us for today's webinar, Expanding Global Awareness of Native Tourism with EXIM Bank. At this time, I am pleased to introduce you to our speakers for today. We will begin with Chairwoman Norma M. Contreras, La Jolla Band of Luiseño Indians. Tribal Chairwoman Contreras for the La Jolla Band of Luiseño Indians in San Diego, California, has worked in many diverse fields, starting with her first job with her tribe as a student aide for the summer JOM program, eventually rising through the ranks to become the chairwoman of her tribe. She completed 1.5 terms as treasurer before giving the seat to run for chairwoman. Ms. Contreras has worked in education, cultural arts, public safety, MMIW, DVSA, emergency services, retail, customer service, community outreach, tribal consultation, housing, and leadership. She worked hard to achieve her title and strives to make sure her people have a voice and to provide services that will help them to be successful and grow. Ms. Contreras serves on several national, regional, and tribal boards and committees. Our next presenter is Erin Davidson, Travel and Tourism Global Team Leader, United States Department of Commerce, U.S. Commercial Service. Erin Davidson is the Travel and Tourism Global Team Leader with the United States Department of Commerce, U.S. Commercial Service. Based in San Diego, he coordinates travel industry-related department programs worldwide to promote international visitation to the United States. Prior to joining the commercial service, he was a lead associate at Booz Allen Hamilton, a strategic consulting and technology firm, working in international program management. In addition, he served as the director of government business development for a global language and business services company. Previously, he worked for the U.S. Commerce Department as an international trade specialist, focusing on government procurement and NAFTA compliance issues in the Western Hemisphere. A San Diego native, Erin has a master's in international trade policy from the Middlebury Institute of International Studies at Monterey, and a Bachelor of Arts in International Relations and Spanish from the University of California. And then we have Ms. Latonya Darden, who is the Business Development Specialist, Minority and Women-Owned Business Outreach Division, Office of Small Business at Export-Import Bank of the United States. Latonya works in the Minority, Women-Owned, and Underserved Business Outreach Division at EXIM Bank. She assists exporters who apply for the Working Capital Guarantee Program, as well as export credit insurance. With several years of international trade counseling experience, Latonya is an asset and has a passion for guiding exporters and lenders through the process, ensuring they understand and follow the policies and procedures of EXIM programs. In her current role, Latonya manages a portfolio of minority business organizations in the Northeast section of the country. Latonya is responsible for building awareness about EXIM Bank's products and services to small businesses, particularly those in underserved communities. The portfolio activity of organizations that Latonya manages has grown tremendously due to her diligence in educating the organizations and businesses that she serves. Latonya holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Administration of Justice. At this time, I would like to hand it over to Latonya Darden.
Thank you for that introduction, Maureen. I'm going to share my screen now.
Latonya, are you okay?
Yes, hold on.
Okay.
I'm almost there. Okay. I may need you to advance. Okay, before I start, I would like to thank AIANTA for partnering with EXIM and Chairwoman Contreras and the Commercial Service for participating in today's webinar. I would also like to thank our guests for taking the time to join us today and to congratulate them for investing time in themselves to learn about the export resources we are going to share today. So EXIM is the export credit agency for the United States. Most countries have an ECA that provides financial support to exporters in their countries. This is the role that EXIM plays for US exporters, providing financial support for their exports. And our mission is to simply facilitate the export of U.S. goods and services by providing that financial support. We have strong relationships with lenders, working with them to fill gaps and actually complement their programs. And we level the playing field by equipping exporters with tools to compete in the global market. Now at EXIM, small business is our business. In fact, approximately 90% of the bank's transactions provide support to small businesses. Now, this is contrary to what you may hear. However, thousands of small businesses that are actually suppliers to large corporations benefit most from EXIM financing. We haven't denied financing because of the size of a business or the dollar amount of the transaction. In fact, we've supported transactions with just a few $1,000s of the value. Now, before I move along, I would like to ask a question. How many attendees are currently exporting? Okay, I'll give everyone a few minutes to answer that question. How many are currently exporting with us today? And I believe we're going to move along to see the responses. Okay, 90% are not exporting, and that is great. That lets me know that you are, and let for yourself know that you are in the right place today to learn about what is available for you to export. So if your business is focused only on domestic sales, which I imagine most of that 90% is just focused on their domestic portfolio, you're actually hindering the growth of your business. You're only reaching 5% of your potential customer base. And just think about it this way. If you're doing well domestically, you can do even better globally. You do have an advantage or a great benefit because you have product that is made in the United States, or you're providing a service from United States personnel. And there's less competition because, again, only 5% are exporting. There's less competition of other businesses here in the US who are exporting. And this is because only 1% of US businesses export due to the fear and uncertainty that comes with exporting or global commerce. EXIM Bank programs remove those risks associated with exporting, which I'm about to talk about next.
Latonya?
Yes.
Before you move on, I just wanted to let you know that I am advancing your slides. I'm currently on slide 4. So please let me know when to advance to the next.
Okay, thank you so much. You can advance to slide 5 now.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, slide 6. Thank you. Okay, so we primarily provide export support to exporters through 2 programs. And the first one I'm going to talk about today is the Access to Cash Flow, also known as our Working Capital Loan Guarantee Program. And with this program, EXIM works with commercial lenders by providing a 90% guarantee for export-related loans that are typically used to buy raw materials to make the product that's being exported, cover labor and overhead costs, purchase finished products that are destined for export, any fees associated with the transaction. These loans are backed by EXIM, which makes lenders more willing and comfortable to finance these global transactions. And so the process is similar to this. You've identified an export opportunity you want to take advantage of, but you're in need of financing to purchase the inventory to fulfill the order. You apply for a loan with your lender, but they are not comfortable or willing to assume the risk associated with a global or an export transaction. Lenders with delegated authority by EXIM Bank process and finance the loan per EXIM guidelines, and those loan proceeds are used by you to fulfill that export order or that contract. Now, to the left of the screen, the risk of buyer non-payment is what is known as export credit insurance or trade credit insurance. And this program removes the risk associated with exporting. It protects you if your customer doesn't pay due to political or commercial risk. And some examples of these are if your customer loses their import license, fraud, an outbreak of war or unrest in a country, you're covered if any of these situations occur. The policy is also a bargaining tool because you're not requiring cash in advance or letters of credit. Therefore, your customer may increase their order knowing that you're not expecting payment for 30, 60, 90 days. We see most businesses offering 60-day terms. The policy is also a financing aid because the lender can advance against those insured receivables. Now, the advance will likely be discounted. You know, it will not be the 95% coverage you would receive due to customer non-payment. However, it is a means of capital that you will need to fulfill orders that you are receiving because you are offering those credit terms. And an example of trade credit insurance process is you've identified a customer, you apply for trade credit insurance. When approved, you offer credit terms to the buyer, you ship the product, the shipment is reported and premium paid at that time, which is very important because if anything should go awry with the transaction and if it has not been reported, then we will not pay the claim. So it is very important that your shipments are reported. What's also great about this insurance is you pay premium only when you ship product. It's not a monthly premium as what most insurance policies require that we're familiar with. And the cost is very minimal. It's just 65 cents per $100 of your receivables, which is the cost of the premium for our policy known as the Express insurance policy, which is what most first-time exporters typically utilize. Because with the Express policy, EXIM Bank performs the due diligence on the customer. On a $30,000 sale, $28,500 is covered and the premium on that $30,000 shipment is only $195. And that's very low for the assurance of repayment should the buyer not pay due to the risk I mentioned earlier. Slide 7, please. So these are the industries that EXIM provides support in, as you can see here, but I'd like to focus on services for a moment. We meet quite a few businesses that provide a service. They don't sell a tangible product. And for the topic of conversation today with tourism and travel, I want to talk about how EXIM can support an export of U.S. businesses who are in the travel or tourism sector. So if you have a contract with a business abroad and you're providing the travel arrangements for their customers, you're providing or arranging the flight, the hotel, their ground transportation, those items, you're providing a service for arranging those items for the business that you're in contract with abroad. So that's how EXIM can potentially support businesses that are in the tourism or travel sector. Don't dismiss receiving support from EXIM because you provider service. We support a wide range of services such as IT, consulting, freight forwarder services, engineering, legal services, and these are just a few examples. So again, it's worth having the conversation. I would advise scheduling a consultation with me or someone on my team to discuss further. The key to remember is if the customer is abroad and payment is from outside of US borders, it is in export. Next slide, please. So we have a country limitation schedule, and I advise customers to visit the website often due to changes that are rapidly occurring, especially these days. The schedule is updated every 6 months. However, with changes occurring rapidly in various countries, it's advisable to check the site maybe every couple weeks, few weeks or so, just to stay abreast of the changes that are occurring in a particular country. Next slide. And so these are additional resources that we rely on to assist us in our outreach initiatives. First, we have our credit insurance brokers. They are available at no charge to you. They assist exporters in selecting the policy that's best for their business model. They report shipments, and in the event you need to file a claim, they submit those documents and assist with that on your behalf also. We have our delegated lenders who finance export-related loans that are used to purchase raw materials, finished products, and to really cover any costs or fees associated with the export transaction. We also have our regional export promotion program, also known as REP organizations. At the state and local level, these organizations assist in educating the thousands of small businesses that we're mandated to reach. We are a very small group, and we rely heavily on our rep members to assist us in reaching and assisting the small businesses at the grassroots level. They assist businesses in developing an export business plan, identify buyers. They often have funds for website development if you need to transfer your website to the language of the country that you're exporting to. So they assist with that and even more. And you can find these resources on our website. Next slide, please. Now these are, okay. I was going to talk a little bit about the external export resources that are available. We collaborate with organizations outside of EXIM Bank to expand the United States presence abroad. These resources can be used simultaneously and are of no charge to you. So again, I highly encourage you to reach out to these organizations. You have state trade offices, world trade offices, the small business development centers, SCORE. There are literally thousands of organizations that have experts in export readiness to assist you with market research, identifying buyers, website development, as I mentioned earlier. Just a few of the services these organizations offer at little to no cost. And so our schedules, I'll just close by saying our schedules do fill up quickly after these events. So I urge you to schedule a consultation as soon as possible. And you can do that by reaching out to me via email or phone. And I also will post in the chat the link where you can go and schedule an appointment at your preferred date and time. Oh, I see the website has been posted. Yes, so please utilize that. And depending on where your business is located, that will determine which business development officer will contact you. So again, thank you for attending today, and we look forward to assisting you. And now I will turn it over to Aaron.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Aaron Davidson, and I'm with the U.S. Department of Commerce, U.S. Commercial Service. I want to thank our good friends at AIANTA, Maureen for serving as our moderator today, as well as our good friends at EXIM for including me in today's program. It's an honor to be able to speak with you today. A little bit about the U.S. Commercial Service. So similar to EXIM, we are also a federal agency, but our mission is to promote the exports of U.S. products and services into markets around the world. I lead our travel and tourism global team, and our focus is the promotion of international visitation to destinations across the United States. So about the commercial service. The way we're set up organizationally is that we have folks like me throughout the United States to be embedded in our local business communities. We also have our colleagues in our embassies and consulates around the world, over 70 offices around the world, again, in embassies and consulates, to serve as our eyes, ears, and brains, quite frankly, for all issues related to commercial matters, including, of course, the travel industry in those countries. So in short, really, we are where you are and where your customers are, both your present customers as well as ideally, of course, your future customers. So why do we do this? Why is the US government involved in this line of work? Well, simply put, similar to EXIM, we're an economic development agency. Our job is to help foster the economic development of communities throughout the United States. In the case of the tourism space, you know, it's no secret that when overseas visitors come to the United States, they spend a lot of money. In fact, in 2019, pre-COVID, they spent $233 billion in the United States. What a lot of people don't recognize is that when people from overseas come to the United States and spend money on tourism, that is considered an export. So that's why we do this. And ultimately, it's because exports equal jobs. Increase exports equals more jobs. So our role, though, is to work with folks like you and with partners like AIANTA to promote international visitation to your destinations. And in the case of AIANTA, that's to American Indian and Alaskan Native destinations throughout the United States. And in order to do that, we offer a range of products and services to help our clients, the destinations, promote themselves internationally. If you'll indulge me, I'm going to just share my screen really quickly and just put up our little flyer. I hope you all can see this. But this talks a little bit about who we are, what we do. This can all be shared with you via Maureen and the AIANTA team afterwards. But a few of our services that I just want to highlight for the purposes of our discussion today, because these are things that we're able to do in tandem with our colleagues in our embassies and consulates around the world to really showcase all of the great things that your destinations offer to international visitors. And again, international visitors literally from everywhere in the world. A few of them are listed right here, so I want to highlight those quickly. First, of course, is our single destination promotion. This is literally where you work with us and our embassy or consulate staff in that market to have a program or event exclusively focused on the promotion of your destination. And what's great about that is we can hold that event. It can be at the embassy, it can be at the ambassador or consul general's residence. Really, depending on what you want that event to be, we help you make that event possible. And we literally do that by inviting the people that you want there. So rather than the invitation coming from you, it's actually coming from the Embassy of the United States. That carries a lot of weight and definitely gets a lot of the right people into the room. We also do a lot of work to help promote and recruit qualified FAM participants. So FAMs, familiarization trips, overseas visitors who serve as force multipliers, maybe they're buyers, maybe they're media from another country who are going to come to your destination to either sell your destination in their market or write about it and promote it. We work with those folks in those overseas markets to identify who the right people are to bring them to you. We also put on a wide range of in-person, certainly pre-COVID and post-COVID, or during COVID, I should say, virtual tourism fairs, again, to showcase different destinations and the attractions therein to a wide range of folks internationally. We can also help find travel distribution partners and target markets. This, of course, includes if you are looking to have in-country representation, maybe hire a company or an organization to promote you, your brand, your destination. We can help vet and identify those folks to make sure that you are meeting with and ultimately, of course, contract with the best possible organization to meet your needs. We also provide travel market intelligence that our teams at our embassies and consulates around the world are generating. And then again, travel and tourism check-in webinars where we'll showcase an international market and have speakers from that market talk about the travel trends and the level of interest in those markets and the types of things that they like to do when they come to the United States. And as I mentioned, also, of course, again, the value proposition that we bring, I believe are many, but first and foremost is our global network. We literally have people all over the world whose job it is to help get you what you need so you can bring people from wherever it is all over the world to your destination. I did want to note that for some of the services that we provide, we do have to charge a nominal fee. We're mandated by Congress. It's called cost recovery, but we can work with you on that. Typically, the fees that we charge for our services are far lower than the amount of money that you would spend to travel to those markets and do all of these things. So we consider it to be incredible return on investment, or put bluntly, serious bang for the buck. But I did want to say that upfront that we do need to charge a little bit for our services. However, it's also worth noting that the commercial service, me, my colleagues throughout the United States, our teams around the world, we're not incentivized to sell you anything. We are only incentivized to help you move the ball down the field, make progress in whatever your objectives are. So whether you use one of our formal services or you don't, and we're able to help you in other ways, that's fine with us. All we care about is that we have been able to assist you. So how do you start? One of the great things I think about working with us is there aren't a whole lot of hoops you need to jump through. You don't need to fill out a bunch of paperwork or get approvals or sign contracts. You literally contact your local commercial service office in whatever city you're in to get started. It starts with an email or a phone call, and we'll help you take the conversation from there. So what does that really mean in practice? How do you get a hold of us? Well, you can find our office listing on our website, which is trade.gov. You can also, of course, contact us through AIANTA. They know how to get a hold of us, and we work very closely with them, as mentioned. And of course, you can also get a hold of me, and I can point you in the right direction. My contact information will be made available after this program. But again, it literally all starts with an email or a phone call. That old joke about, oh, we're from the government, we're here to help. Well, I like to think that in the case of the U.S. Commercial Service specifically, we are here to help, and all you need to do is reach out to us to get that dialogue initiated. I do want to add that it's really important for whether it's a company with an actual product to export or a destination or a tourism service provider, the same basic rules apply. It's really important that you know your destination, that you really know the attributes of your destination and what makes it attractive to the visitor, especially international visitors. And that, of course, will vary depending on where specifically those international visitors are coming from. But know your destination and also do your own research on your markets of interest. Yes, sometimes companies and destinations or attractions come to us and say, we want to export, we want to promote ourselves internationally, but they don't know where they want to start. It's really helpful for us, and ultimately, I think yields the most success when you as the destination have done your homework, you've already identified market trends, you recognize, and again, pre-COVID, of course, that you were seeing an uptick of visitation from Scandinavia, from the Nordic countries. Okay, well, that might be a good place to start. Whereas you've never had any visitors come from Brazil or Argentina. Okay, maybe not focus on Latin America, but even having some of that information at the ready when you engage with us is helpful, because then we can really target our efforts and ultimately yield the most success. But as far as the process itself, like I said, we start by you contacting us. Literally, we have an initial conversation. We send you a questionnaire that you complete. It's pretty short. You just tell us a little bit more about who you are, what you do, and what you're looking for us to assist you with. And then we take that questionnaire, we share it with our colleagues in that country, that market of interest, and then we set up a meeting where we all huddle together and identify next steps. Again, real simple, real straightforward. There's no charge for that. It's literally just a question of finding time on everyone's calendar, given the time zones, to accommodate that meeting. Sometimes we have to wake up early or stay up late to connect with people in Europe or Asia, but beyond that, there's no other cost. So really, it's that simple. Reach out and we'll see how we can be of assistance. I think that's all for me right now. I'll yield the remainder of my time, if any, and I'll be happy to take any questions either via the chat or during the Q&A session to follow. But again, I want to thank you all for hearing me today, for having me here today. Maureen, back to you.
Thank you, Aaron. If you could go ahead and stop sharing, I'd appreciate that. Wonderful. And the final presenter of our lineup is Chairwoman Norma M. Contreras with the La Jolla Band of Luiseño Indians. Norma, I hand over to you.
Nishan Levak, thank you, Maureen. I'd like to start off with kind of a little prayer in honor of Native American Heritage Day. So will you Chayam Talan Pomkalak New Max Kwahi Vocho Chami New Max Ma Mayo Champila Chevon Kayakni. Chayam Shun Leve Mon Pino Hena Chinakshe Nepe Pom Loksh Akilte Piokip. So basically, I said, Creator, thank you for this day. Please protect us. Please help while we learn. Our hearts are grateful. Our hearts are grateful for your blessings. And then, thank you. Amen. So thank you for that time. Thank you, Latonya, Maureen, for having us on here and being able to speak. I am the chairwoman for La Jolla Band of Luiseño Indians. My name is Norma Contreras. I'm completing my first year as chairwoman. Before that, I was currently the treasurer of La Jolla Band of Luiseño Indians for two terms. And then when I came in, there was a lot of work that needed to be done in the tribe. I could see a lot of growth that needed to happen within our tribe. And so some of the ideas that I had, and then I've heard from other tribes that were saying if La Jolla really did their adventure park correctly, they would have a very successful place. And so we had started out with our campground in the 1970s, and this is about 3 miles of primitive camping. And then we ended up moving, creating our RV park, which held about 40 RVs in different sizes. But we were also in the floodplain. So we applied for a grant with the EDA for $9 million to establish and move the campground and zip line. out of the watershed and then bring it up to a higher elevation, so that way we can also have a welcome center for our people. So this is currently in the process for us that we're going to be building. And we also realized that, you know, with all the planning and everything that we did, the biggest thing that I've learned when creating a successful business is we have to learn what our failures and our successes are. So that's what we did. We had when I came in January, we did a planning session of all the good things that are happening within the tribe in our economic development, and then also what we needed to do moving forward to help with the pitfalls that we were having. And so we created the strategic plan, and then we also created a master plan because we wanted to grow our tribe. So in that master plan, it included a bike park because of the campground, you know, we wanted an adventure park. And so we needed a bike park, water features because currently our water has been turned off due to HABs, you know, environmental issue that's going on, you know, that's out of our control, and it's due to the lake that's above us. So we're like, okay, now we have to strategize and see what we can do to be successful for that. We also wanted to put up signage for our cultural resources. So, you know, having signage with our native plants, our medicinal plants, and plants that we use throughout our river, so people can, you know, understand the sage, understand the medicinal tea that we use, and you know, different things, that different plant life that we use, but also have it in our native language. So that was some of the things that were brought up in the strategic planning. And then also we realized that we have a lot of different amenities within our adventure park, but we don't have a place for people to stay besides the camping. So in order for everybody to enjoy the zip line, the bike riding, the campground, the casino, different areas of our facilities, we wanted to make sure that they have a place to stay. And the longer and more time they have, we noticed that, you know, they'll be able to extend out their time to enjoy our amenities. So that was one of the other planning things that we wanted to include in there. So we also upgraded we wanted to do 200 RV parks. Then we also wanted to do a small resort, and we wanted to revamp our water park. We currently have a water park, but it has been run down, so we want to revamp it. We're in the process of that. All the funding that we're getting is either through grants or through San Luis Rey Indian Water Authority, which we're a consortium of. And what we do is we sell the water to the local areas, and then the revenue that we receive, we each get an allocation of that. Each tribe, there's 5 different tribes, we get an allocation of that, and that helps, so that way we can get support our funding for economic development. All the funding that we get from that is only to go to economic development. So we've created several different plans within that master planning to make sure that we'll be able to sustain ourselves and grow with the utilization of those funds. And so it's been very challenging trying to make sure that we incorporate everything from you know, the marketing, getting the different, you know, feasibility studies done. So, but once that gets done, then we can, you know, grow further and be able to reach out to marketing for other outside countries to come in and stay. And I know, you know, people come and they just enjoy the weekend. Well, we don't want them to have a weekend vacation. We want them to have a staycation where it's a week-long vacation, just like when you would go to Florida and go to Disneyland. We want something where they can, today's itinerary, this is what you're going to do. You know, we're going to have you zip lining, and then after that, you're going to go have lunch, and then you're going to go have, you know, you're going to take a ride up to the mountain to our other location, and you'll be able to enjoy, you know, a hike up there, or you can go bike riding the next day. So these are all things that we have been planning and we've been working on. And currently we receive about 10% of our guests coming from outside of the country. So mostly Canada and Mexico, but but we want to grow and extend that out. So that way we realize that the tourism from other countries coming in would benefit our tribe as well. And it's something that it's hard to show our people that is something we should strive for. And I don't know, I'm just a person that sees big. So I want to go global, and I want to be able to provide as much services as we can for those coming here on our reservation, make them feel welcome, make them feel like there's so many things to do. So this is some of our plans. And then another thing that we have done is we've kind of been in the dark ages where it's all been, you know, the paper, pen, stuff on the computers, but never with the online, you know, stuff. So this is the first year that we've actually put our campground and our zip line online, so that way everybody can access it and register and make reservations and add additional services like bike riding, you know, different things like that. So it's been, we've seen a big growth in that, with more people being able to access us and see where we're coming from. And we now, the registration used to take about 15 to 20 minutes when people would come in, and now it takes about 3 to 5 minutes because we utilize the iPads. And we're also, when I first came on in 2017, we worked on getting the fiber optic to our reservation because we, like I said, been living kind of in the dark ages, and this has helped us. We currently have it to our admin building and then also to our casino and trading post store. So this has helped us, so that way we can get the VoIP systems for our phones, upgrade our phone systems, upgrade, you know, our software for our pumps at the gas station. So, and then also have a secure connection to internet access through our machines, because we in our area, it's mountainous. So we are in the high mountains, 5,200 elevation. And when you have all these mountains, it's hard to get service in that area. So we had 3 different internet connections to help us maintain the internet there. So when one went out, we had the backup. And then when that went out, we had the other backup. So we had our satellite, we had our Wi-Fi, and then we also had our direct line into our casino. So this has all been helpful in making us successful and moving forward and getting us online, getting us out there. We hired our marketing manager, Angela. She's been, you know, really great. She's been promoting us, getting us done. And like I said, we want to expand out now, so that way we can get more people to stay here, but currently in the process of growing at the same time. So like I said, if anybody has any questions or anything, please feel free to reach out to me. I think, you know, people associate reservations with casinos, and we know in our location, in our terrain, that's not the case. We do have a small casino. It only has 36 to 40 machines, but that's not our main moneymaker. Our main moneymaker is our campground and our zip line. And so we wanted to invest into what is working and not try to build a big casino that's not going to work. We know, because we have 3 or 4 other reservations near us, that everybody will pass the casino just to get to our location. So it didn't make sense. So we really did our homework. We really did our planning to make sure that we were able to get what we needed to do up here, what's going to work for us and what's going to help us be successful. And like I said, planning starts with an idea, start the planning process, the needs for all the ideas that you're going to have, and always incorporate your culture. I see that a lot of people stop and ask, and we have a lot of Indigenous artists here on our reservation, actually a lot of famous artists. We have Jamie Okuma, we have Fritz Shoulder. So there's a lot of ways we can incorporate, you know, our people and their artist techniques into our culture and make it so that way we can be successful. And I think a lot of people want to see more of that than just going and stopping at a casino. I mean, it's been working for years, but for us, that we know that's not going to work for us. We have to do something that's going to be, you know, adventurous, more outdoors, because we are, you know, mountainous. We're going to get our bike trails. We're working on the contract for that. So it's a big vision and a lot of work, but it's one step at a time. And I think if anybody's, you know, planning on doing anything or wants to see something successful for their tribe, you know, always reach out to other tribes who are already doing it, so that way they can help you. Mishum Lovek, thank you.
Thank you, Chairwoman. Thank you, Chairwoman Contreras. I appreciate you sharing your experience with us.
You're welcome.
At this time, we are going to take some questions. I believe we have a few of them in the chat. We do have a thank you from Stacia Morfin, owner of Nez Perce Tourism LLC, who is grateful for a great lineup of presenters today. We have a question. Does export credit insurance cover small businesses with revenue loss due to unforeseen delays in shipping, such as what is happening now with the delays at the port of entries? For example, if I have a promotional business with items for events and cannot meet deadlines.
That's a great question that we often get, and our insurance covers non-payment due to political or commercial risk only. It does not cover if items are damaged or if they're lost en route. But now our insurance brokers probably are aware, or even themselves may offer that insurance. So I can discuss that with you offline to maybe guide you as to who can provide that coverage for you. But unfortunately, EXIM does not. Thank you.
Thank you, Latonya, for that. We have a few thank yous for the chairwoman for one starting off your meeting with a prayer. It's greatly appreciated. We have a thank you for your vision. Love your vision. And I actually have a question for Chairwoman Contreras. How long has your vision been in the works?
My vision or the tribe's vision?
The tribe's vision.
Well, I like to go through the history of our tribe. So when I got in, I went through the other strategic plans, the other master plans that, you know, our former chair people have had. And the vision has been the same for probably about 40 to 50 years. And so a lot of it is, you know, adventure, making sure that the outdoors component is a big key to that, because, you know, we have the land, you know, the land base for it. So it's really good to see that my vision, you know, coming in and then seeing our, you know, our ancestors and our previous chairs and what they wanted and our people wanted, because they also did, you know, community surveys, is still the same. I think mine is just bigger and to the extent where I want to I would like to see us go internationally or global. So, and then I just like to see tribes that are successful and growing and doing what they can for the people. And I want to give back to the people, because I hear the same thing from our people is, when is it our time? When are we going to be successful? And they're right, when is it our time? And I feel that if any way that I can help our people is by leading them to, even if maybe next year I'm not voted in, at least I started that, I planted that seed for them so that way they can continue on growing. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Chairwoman. I do have one more question for you.
Okay.
How much do you work with San Diego Convention and Visitors Bureau?
I don't think we do actually work with them. We currently have been working with our local, Chamber of Commerce. The other one was American Native Chamber of Commerce for California. So we've been, been utilizing them and working with them for different resources, procurement, job descriptions. So, but I definitely will look into that. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. I don't see any more questions. So I would like to go ahead and wrap up. We will be posting the webinar on the AIANTA website. And we will send a link to your email addresses. Please follow us at aianta.org/webinar for future webinars hosted by AIANTA. If you are not a member of AIANTA and would like to be, please contact Gail Shihak, Tribal Relations and Outreach Manager, and you can do so by visiting our website at aianta.org. We appreciate you being here today. Have a great day. And thank you to all.